Friends, good morning and welcome. We are going to discuss question and answers for the week from 16th February to 22nd February. And this is part 1 of this question and answer session. We are going to discuss 32 questions each in these two sessions. Right? Look into the first question. A 29-year-old yoga teacher, Yograj CP, created Guinness World Record by performing yoga for 40 hours with 1500 asanas. Yoga for continuously 40 hours. And this feat was performed in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is nothing but Special Administrative Region of China, SAR of China. So, in Hong Kong, this feat was performed, and I would like to tell few words about yoga. What is yoga? It is nothing but practicing physical, mental and spiritual. Physical, mental and spiritual practice of transforming body and mind. So that is the main essence of yoga. In this context, I would like to tell two things. First one is, yoga is of Indian origin. Yoga is of Indian origin and it is claimed to be 5000 years old, and Patanjali's Yoga Sutra is the widely acclaimed text and the earliest available texts on yoga. Patanjali's Yoga Sutra is the earliest available treatise on yoga. The second point I would like to tell you is, from this year onwards, June 21 is going to be observed as International Yoga Day, and in the United Nations resolution, out of 193 countries, 177 countries adopted this June 21 as the International Yoga Day, and from this year onwards, June 21 will be International Yoga Day. Right? Let us move on to the next question. Sun Edison, it is the multinational company based in United States of America. Sun Edison is the multinational company in clean energy based in United States of America, recently committed that they are going to develop 15,200 megawatt of renewable energy by 2022. By 2022, they claimed that they are going to develop 15,200 megawatt of renewable energy by 2022. Remember, Mr. Narendra Modi's government is giving more emphasis on clean energy, and in this context, Sun Edison committed 10,000 megawatt of solar power and 5,200 megawatt of wind power by 2022. So, here the answer is 15,200 megawatt. Look at the next question. Exemption from CTT was recently extended to 38 more commodities. What is CTT? CTT is Commodities Transaction Tax. This Commodities Transaction Tax, this is normally applicable for future trading in generally non-agricultural commodities, and government may bring in and may exempt some commodities from time to time, and this Commodities Transaction Tax is at present 0.01% for each transaction. That means, in future trading, this Commodities Transaction Tax is imposed for the selected commodities, and the tax here is 0.01%, and Commodities Transaction Tax is not applicable, and some of the commodities are exempted from the tax. Look into the next question. In Delhi World Book Fair 2015, every year, World Book Fair is held in Delhi. This is the practice being continued from 1972. The first book fair was held in 1972 in Delhi, and initially it was held as biannual affair. Subsequently, it is now annual affair, and recent book fair, it is the 23rd World Book Fair, was held in Pragati Maidan, Delhi. From the year 1972, it is being held For the first time it was held at Windsor Place, and next edition onwards regularly it is being held in Pragati Maidan, Delhi, and this year the guest country is Singapore and the focus country is South Korea. Guest country is Singapore, focus country is South Korea, and this book fair is being held from 1972 onwards, and this year it was held in Pragati Maidan, Delhi. Look into the next question. Netherlands based non-profit organization Mars One. If you look into the ambitious plan of Mars One, they want to establish a human habitation on Mars. They want to establish human habitation on Mars. For that, they are going to select 4 persons. Initially, they have screened 2,02,586 persons. Among 2,02,586, they shortlisted 100 persons. Out of this 100, 3 are of Indian origin. Out of this 100 persons, 3 are of Indian origin, and out of these 100 persons, again second level of screening is going to be held, and ultimately 4 persons will be selected finally. Remember, Mars One is the Netherlands based non-profit organization, and they want to establish a colony of human habitations on Mars. Right. Look into the next one. Name the country which is imposing severe controls through firewalls for accessing internet. In India, we have free access to any site. Very few sites are blocked in India. But when you look at China, huge firewall is established and several sites were blocked in China. So China is imposing more and more restrictions on internet. You are looking at 2 words here, WAN, that is wide area network. That means various countries, various organizations, these are all connected without any barriers, that is wide area network. But China is imposing a firewall and it is imposing restrictions on the viewing of internet, and the other country which is imposing severe restrictions on internet viewing is North Korea. Please don't forget. North Korea is the other country which is imposing serious restrictions on the viewership of internet. Right? Look into the next question. Famous with James Bond film Octopussy. Louis Jordan passed away recently. He is famous film and television actor of France. He passed away at the age of 93 years at Beverly Hills in United States of America. He is the famous film and television actor from France. Right? Look into the next question. R.R. Patil, former Home Minister of Maharashtra, passed away recently. R.R. Patil was the Home Minister of Maharashtra and recently he died due to oral cancer. He is the leader of Nationalist Congress Party. Nationalist Congress Party is one of the major forces in Maharashtra, and Mr. R.R. Patil belongs to Nationalist Congress Party. Let us move on to the next question. 82-year-old CPI leader Govind Pansare was shot dead. 82-year-old Govind Pansare was shot dead in Kolhapur city. One fine morning, he was going for a morning walk along with his wife, and he was shot at, and subsequently he died. Why he was shot at? He was a CPI leader in Kolhapur city. He was fighting, that means he was against road toll collection. He was fighting and he was leading agitations pertaining to road toll collection, because when toll is collected on roads, common man is the sufferer. Because of that, he started agitation against road toll collection, and in Kolhapur he was shot dead by some miscreants. The other incidents I would like to tell you, almost 1.5 years back, in the same state of Maharashtra, Narendra Dabholkar, a social activist, was also murdered. So, civil society took seriously these type of incidents where social activists are being killed by miscreants. Let us move on to the next question. Abu Salem was recently convicted in builder Pradeep Jain murder case. Abu Salem, this murder took place in the year 1995 in the city of Bombay, the then Bombay, now it is Mumbai. In the city of Mumbai, he murdered a builder, Pradeep Jain, and recently a special Tada court convicted him and life imprisonment was imposed on Abu Salem. Right? Let us look at the next question. Which of the following recently apologized for anti-Pakistan retweets during the India-Pakistan match as a part of the World Cup cricket tournament being held in New Zealand and Australia? There were some tweets against Pakistan, and All India Radio unfortunately retweeted against those tweets. Because of these retweets, All India Radio recently apologized for anti-Pakistan retweets. Recently, All India Radio apologized for anti-Pakistan retweets. Right? Look into the next question. Sri Nitish Kumar was sworn in as the Chief Minister of Bihar for the 4th time. Almost a year ago, he resigned and Mr. Jitan Ram Manjhi became the Chief Minister of Bihar, and subsequently MLAs revolted against Mr. Jitan Ram Manjhi, and Mr. Jitan Ram Manjhi could not prove his majority in the State Assembly and finally resigned, and Mr. Nitish Kumar took over as the Chief Minister for the 4th time in Bihar. He belongs to JDU party, Janata Dal United. Look into the next question. Two promoters of a newspaper group. Deccan Chronicle is one of the famous newspapers in southern India, and two promoters of this newspaper group, one of them is T. Venkatram Reddy. Recently, they were arrested by CBI because they took 357 crore loan from Canara Bank. They took 357 crore loan from Canara Bank with forged documents. Right? Look into the next question. 57-year-old Suresh Bhai Patel was recently injured in police excesses at Madison, Alabama. This Alabama state is in the United States of America. 57-year-old Suresh Bhai Patel went to see his son when he was going for a morning walk one fine morning. Police personnel, without any reason, severely attacked him, and during the attack, his spinal cord was injured, and finally part of his body was paralyzed, and Indian organizations vehemently protested these police excesses. Right? Look into the next question. Infosys announced that it will purchase US-based automation technology provider Panaya for a value of. Acquisitions and mergers is not new in software sector. Recently, Infosys purchased this Panaya for $200 million. Right? Let us move on to the next question. Indian-born Puneet Ranjan was appointed as the global CEO of Deloitte. You are looking at other CEOs who got global fame. Indra Nooyi of PepsiCo, Satya Nadella of Microsoft, Anshu Jain of Deutsche Bank. These are Indians who raised up to such greater heights, and one such person is Puneet Ranjan, who became the global CEO of Deloitte. What is Deloitte? It is the multinational tax and audit consulting firm. Multinational tax and audit consulting firm headquartered in United States of America. And remember the 4 names which you are seeing, PwC, that is PricewaterhouseCoopers, EY, Ernst & Young, Deloitte and KPMG. These 4 are known as Big 4. Remember, these 4 are the leading multinational companies for audit and tax consultancy, and these 4 put together are known as Big 4. Remember, the headquarters of Deloitte is in United States of America, the headquarters of PwC is in London, the headquarters of EY is in London, and KPMG is headquartered in Netherlands. Let us move on to the next question. The bank which issued bonds of 10-year duration for rupees 500 crore to fund green infrastructure projects. What is green infrastructure project? Green infrastructure project is without disturbing the environment. If some project is coming up, that is categorized as green infrastructure project. Recently, 10-year duration bonds were issued by Yes Bank for a value of 500 crore, especially to finance green infrastructure projects. Right? Look into the next question. President and COO of Hitachi visited India recently. Hitachi belongs to? Hitachi is the electronics and other equipment manufacturer. It is the multinational company. Its headquarters is in Tokyo, Japan. Right? Let us look into the next question. Wholesale price index inflation. Inflation is measured based on wholesale price index and as well as consumer price index. Now RBI takes consumer price index related inflation as the benchmark because consumer price index related inflation tracks inflation at consumer level, whereas WPI inflation tracks inflation at wholesale level. Because of this difference, RBI recently started taking consumer price index related inflation as the benchmark while declaring their monetary policy. Let us look into this question. WPI inflation for the month of January 2015 is minus 0.39%. Remember, it has gone into negative side. It is minus 0.39%. But remember, the index for common man is consumer price index related inflation. Consumer price index related inflation is hovering around 5%, which is quite satisfactory from customers' point of view. Please look into the next question. During the second edition of the India Golf Awards, these India Golf Awards are being given for the second year, and during this year, Anirban Lahari got the Golfer of the Year award, and in the women's category, Female Golfer of the Year has gone to Vani Kapoor. Remember, these India Golf Awards are being given for the second time. They started only last year. Right? Look into the next one. China made operational Silk Road Fund. The answer for this question is, the value of the Silk Road Fund is $40 billion. And when you look into the picture, you are looking into red lines and blue lines. Red lines indicate it is the Silk Route going on the land. Blue lines indicate maritime Silk Route. That means through sea or oceans. They want to expand their business empire. They want to have seamless connectivity without any hassles for moving freight. That means trade related embargoes will not be there. With that intention, China is investing heavily on Silk Road and Maritime Silk Road. Silk Road connects China with Europe, and the Maritime Silk Road connects Africa, not only Africa, other countries of Southeast Asia also. So, China is investing heavily on not only Silk Road but also on Maritime Silk Road. Right? Look at the next one. India's largest international crafts mela. Here, to showcase the handlooms, handicrafts and India's rich cultural heritage, this crafts mela is being held every year at Surajkund. Surajkund is in Faridabad district of Haryana, and this year's Surajkund International Crafts Mela is 29th. Remember, this year's Craft Mela is 29th, and in this connection I would like to tell you two things. For this year's Crafts Mela, the partner nation is Lebanon. The partner nation is Lebanon and the theme state is Chhattisgarh. Theme state is Chhattisgarh and partner nation is Lebanon. Having done this, look at the next question. Tessie Thomas and Geeta Vardhan. Tessie Thomas is associated with Agni missile. Geeta Vardhan is associated with ISRO. These two famous scientists, one belongs to DRDO, the other one belongs to ISRO, were recently awarded Y. Nayudamma Memorial Award for 2014. Who is this Nayudamma? Nayudamma is the famous scientist, chemical engineer from Andhra Pradesh. He held very high positions, Padma Shri Award winner. He was chief of CSIR, Vice Chancellor for Jawaharlal Nehru University. After holding these positions, unfortunately, he lost his life in the tragedy of Kanishka air crash. Kanishka air crash over Atlantic Ocean. Kanishka air crash over Atlantic Ocean in 1985. He lost his life, and in his memory, this award was instituted, and Tessie Thomas of Agni missile and Geeta Vardhan of ISRO, these two scientists were awarded this Y. Nayudamma Memorial Award. Right, look into the next question. UN Human Rights Council. There is an allegation. Sri Lanka committed war excesses when it was fighting LTTE. LTTE was decimated in the year 2009. When Sri Lanka was fighting LTTE extremists, there was an allegation that the army committed lot of atrocities on the civilians. Now, United Nations Human Rights Council is going to give its report on the war atrocities committed on the civilians, and the tenure is extended by another 6 months because there is a government change in Sri Lanka. Mr. Maithripala Sirisena took over from Mr. Rajapaksa, so the new government wanted some time to clarify their position. Because of this, it was extended by another 6 months. Right, look into the next question. The bank which started technology learning centers at 385 of its regional offices. This is none other than State Bank of India. I would like to tell few words here. What is technology learning centers? Now, in place of physical branches, previously, when you want to do some bank transaction, you used to go to a bank branch, physical branch. The other name for that is brick and mortar branch. We used to visit directly bank branch, but now lot of alternate channels are available in the banking system. One such channel is ATM, internet banking, e-lobbies. Like that, several alternate channels are coming up. But humans are to be properly educated how to operate these channels. Keeping that in view, to ensure e-literacy to the masses, to educate the masses in electronic forms of transaction, recently State Bank of India started technology learning centers at 385 of its regional offices. It's really a good initiative, and let us hope that other banks will also follow suit. Right, look into the next question. Recently, a Hindu temple was vandalized. These unfortunate incidents are taking place across the world. We have already learned 5 churches were vandalized in the national capital region of Delhi. Recently, one incident took place where some Hindu temple was vandalized in United States of America. That is Seattle city of United States of America. One Hindu temple was vandalized. These are unfortunate events, and religious tolerance is the utmost necessity anywhere in the world so as to have mutual coexistence. Right, look into the next question. Name the city in the country which is going to open restaurants and bars day and night. In Mumbai, in some commercial areas, identified commercial areas, Marine Drive, Cuff Parade area, some of the identified locations, these 24/7 bars and restaurants will be opened, and so as to ensure nightlife throughout night, this Maharashtra government took a decision, bars and restaurants will be open for 24 hours a day in the select commercial areas of Mumbai. Look at the next question. Heavy fighting is taking place between rebels and army in Kokang province. I have already discussed about Kokang region. Kokang region is northeastern part of Myanmar. It is bordering China, and most of these persons are of Chinese origin, and they are fighting with Myanmarese army. They want more provincial autonomy for their region. These type of ethnic clashes are not new in Myanmar. There are several regions where ethnic minorities fight with army, and Kokang is one such region. Right? Look into the next question. D. Ramanaidu, who died recently, is a film producer, and he holds Guinness World Record for maximum number of films produced. He produced around 150 films in almost 13 languages, and Mr. D. Ramanaidu passed away recently. Next one. Hero Motor Corp of Hero Group. Hero Group recently decided to sell 4% of its stake. Selling certain shares nowadays is not uncommon. Regularly many companies are doing it because many companies are into debt trap. Their debt burden is high. So as to reduce their debt burden, several companies are selling part of their shares to reduce their debt burden. So here Hero Motor Corp is selling 4% of its stake for rupees 1800 crore rupees. Look into the next one. Swiss authorities recently raided the offices of HSBC because HSBC recently admitted that the Swiss arm of HSBC facilitated some bigwigs to evade tax. That means Swiss arm of HSBC facilitated some corporates, facilitated some high net worth individuals to escape tax. That means they shielded these bigwigs with some ulterior motive, and several governments lost their revenue because of this. They admitted publicly, and after that Swiss authorities raided the banking offices of HSBC in Switzerland. Move on to the last question of this part. Jamaat-e-Islam leader Abdul Subhan was given death sentence. There was Bangladesh liberation in the early 70s. At that time, several atrocities were committed. Bangladesh War Crimes Tribunal is looking into those atrocities, and here Abdul Subhan was recently given death sentence by the Bangladesh War Crimes Tribunal. Right, with this let us conclude this question and answer part, and do join for second part of the week. Have a nice time. Thank you.